It is predicted that NASA's Ingenuity helicopter on the planet Mars will crash on December 29th, 2023. The date that this video is posted proves that this prediction is being made ahead of time, as does this time-stamped email and forensic notes PDF document. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward these to you. All right, this is part 5 of this series. I think it will be the last part of this series. This series is predicting that NASA's Ingenuity helicopter will crash on Mars on December 29th, 2023. Okay, the date that this video is posted proves this. Prediction is being made ahead of time, as does this email that you can see was composed on December 6th. And so do the reasons explained in this video. The purpose of it is to also give these reasons to confirm that I haven't been making a video every few days predicting that the helicopter will crash and then one day I'll finally get lucky. If you believe that, after the prediction comes to pass, it is because you desire to not believe the truth. You do not want to believe because it's completely irrational, right? And so the only explanation, therefore, is that you don't want the worldview, which is the righteous Christian God of the Bible worldview, to be true. Essentially because you do not want the God of the Bible to be your God. You do not probably, for example, want God to be a judge. So therefore you either don't believe in God or you believe in the spirit, quote unquote, spiritual but not religious, unquote, religion, which is a religion. They say that they are against religion or not into religion, but it is a religion, the New Age religion or whatever you want to call it, new spirituality, or simply the spiritual but not religious religion. Anyway, those religions will provide you the way to either not be spiritual at all or whatever, or be supposedly spiritual but not believe in a God that judges. But anyway, the point of this prediction is to prove that the Christian worldview is the correct worldview, the true worldview. And in that worldview, there is an explanation for other worldviews. And that explanation is what I just alluded to. Bottom line. It is deception from the deceiver, all of the other worldviews, including other so-called religions. Anyone that's interested in any kind of truth or evidence can clearly, easily determine that Hinduism and Islam are nonsense. Nonsense, literally. The agnostic atheists has figured that out. And they are correct to criticize religions, except for the true religion, which is the Christian biblical worldview, which they have not looked into the evidence for. They've arrogantly assumed that it's not true. And part of their justifying it to themselves that it isn't is they're comparing it with, they're using other religions to show that religions, all of them are not true, by talking about consistently, constantly, the things that obviously make Islam problematic, for example, right? But anyway, we want to stay focused here. And so anyway, the point is that this prediction will prove that the righteous Christian God of the Bible is the true God. And this is part 5. I recommend you watch the other videos in their order. And it's necessary that you do so. It's not just a recommendation. And so to finish this, let's read here. Bible prophecy speaks of the required perseverance of the saints. And by the way, when the Bible uses the word saints, it's not how Catholics interpret this word. Catholicism isn't Christianity. It isn't the Bible. It isn't a legitimate denomination of Christianity. God absolutely hates Catholicism. But God doesn't hate Catholics. I'm not, and don't get me wrong, it's not personal. I'm just speaking truth, right? And I don't hate Catholics. But Catholicism is pagan religion wrapped in an appearance of Christianity to fool people. It is carried anyway. So anyway, the worship we're praying to or talking to or whatever the Catholics want to use to excuse themselves from praying to supposed saints, which the Bible forbids, such as veneration, as the Catholics will say. It's just nonsense. How does anyone take that seriously, right? These excuses for their pagan religion. So anyway, there's no such thing as the saints as the Catholics understand it. And when the Bible uses the word saints, it's obviously clear from the text that it's referring to Christians in general, right? And so anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there because, there's some authority behind the fact that I'm able to make this prediction. And part of this prediction, this prediction proves that this is God's true big picture of signs, patterns, and connections. And part of it is signs that confirm that Catholicism is not a legitimate denomination of Christianity. Furthermore, the first of the two antichrists described in Revelation chapter 13 is the Pope. And sorry, for the conservative Catholics, it isn't because this particular Pope is bad. It's because all popes throughout all of history have been lowercase a antichrists. The office of papacy is blasphemy, and it always has been. Okay? And that's why all along it was always inevitable that the Antichrist would be a pope, because popes are antichrists. And I can't explain any more than that because that's not the purview of this video. But the point is that, take it seriously, this criticism. Don't just dismiss it like you have done in the past when other Protestant brothers have tried to warn you. Take it seriously. It's time to stop this. Open your mind and learn the evidence for why Catholicism isn't true and why God hates it. Okay. Bible prophecy speaks of the required perseverance of the saints during the period of the Antichrist and the mark of the Antichrist. The Antichrist is the 44th president. Those who will be raptured. By the way, the Bible is filled with examples in the Old Testament of the Jews constantly getting into trouble with God for specifically mixing their true religion with pagan religion. That is essentially what they constantly kept doing and why they were judged and why they were exiled. It was for mixing pagan religion with the true religion, which is exactly what Catholics do. The thing that God hates the most in the Bible is false religion. And so that's why I say God hates Catholicism, because it's true. God hates Catholicism. It's pagan religion, which he hates. Okay, those who will be raptured, rescued from the severe persecution of the Antichrist, are symbolized by the number 144,000 in Bible prophecy. December 29th, 2023 will be exactly 1,444,000 minutes, which is the equivalent of 1,000 days and obviously hints at the number 144,000 in Bible prophecy. Okay, so again, December 29th will be this number that hints at 144,000 minutes after the Mars helicopter first detached from the Perseverance probe on the 44th day of the mission. And that's extremely relevant too, because the second of the two antichrists is the 44th president, who will enforce the mark of the Antichrist, as will the Pope. And that's why the necessity for the perseverance of the saints, which is the prophetic significance of why the probe that the helicopter detached from and rode with to Mars is named Perseverance. Okay? By the way, the probe was launched on the day that former presidential candidate Herman Cain died. Now, Cain is symbolism for the Cain and Abel story in the Bible and God's judgment on Cain. But Cain, the candidate, was known, and by the way, he announced his presidency on his birthday, and Cain was the first man born. Cain was known for his 999 tax plan. That was the thing that he was known for, big time. And the number 9 is the most important number in God's science, as it symbolizes God's judgment from the Bible. And that's why Herman Cain, with his 999 tax plan, died on the day that the Perseverance probe was launched. Oh, and also on that same day was the recording of the podcast with Obama and Bruce Springsteen titled Born in the USA, Renegades. Renegades is an allusion to the Antichrist, the renegade that was thrown down from heaven to earth, the dragon in Revelation chapter 12 and all that, right? Satan, Lucifer. But also, Obama wasn't born in the USA. And that was one sign that proves that. As if you needed a sign, because, the evidence is out there anyway for those that were interested in truth. It was abundant, the evidence for how Obama wasn't born in the USA. Well, anyway, the podcast Born in the USA was recorded on the day that the Perseverance probe was launched, on the day that Herman Cain died, who was known for his 999 tax plan. And why did Herman Cain die? He died from the CVD disease, which is a hint at the thing, the mark of the Antichrist, the supposed cure for the CVD disease, which is what will be hinted at with the crash of Mars's helicopter because of its X-rotor blades and the red planet, which symbolizes the red blood that is diseased because of the thing, if one takes it. All right. And anyway, the saints that will have to persevere will be rescued in a rapture event, also described in Revelation chapter 12. And the number 144 in Bible, 1,000 in Bible prophecy is symbolic of those that will be raptured. And that's why we have this number here that symbolizes 144,000 that connects the day that the Perseverance probe detached the helicopter on the 44th day of the mission to the day it is predicted that the helicopter will crash. All right, so if and when the helicopter crashes on this day, it will be astounding confirmation of everything that I just said. And I mean everything that I just said, including the criticism of Catholicism. It's a warning. It's not a hate. It's not, first of all, if you think that what I said about Catholicism is hate speech, then that's just political correctness. And that's anti-free speech. It's anti-American, right? I'm just saying that it's not true and that God hates Catholicism. You shouldn't have a problem with that opinion, right? Okay, now to confirm his signs and connections, God pairs the numbers 9 and 17 together. I shouldn't say opinion. I should say view. I believe it's truth, not an opinion. You shouldn't have a problem with that view. All right. God, and as I said, I don't hate Catholics, and furthermore, God doesn't hate Catholics. And I'm not saying Catholics won't be saved. By the way, I need to clarify that. I forgot to. But if they are, it will be in spite of their Catholicism, not because of it. But I have to say that it seems to me that 99% of Catholics aren't born again, and you need to be born again. All right. And that's the purpose of the deception from Satan, which is Catholicism, is to keep people from becoming born again. That's the reason for the design of the system of Catholicism. It keeps people, for one thing, from reading the Bible. In fact, for many centuries in the Catholic Church, Catholics were forbidden from reading the Bible. Still to this day, Catholics don't read the Bible. It's part of their culture. They don't need to. Only supposedly priests can understand it anyway. So if they have a question, they just go to the priest. That's a big problem. That's a big part of the reason why Catholicism is deception from Satan. Literally. It is the wolf in sheep's clothing. Literally. Okay. To confirm his signs and connections, God pairs the numbers 9 and 17 together. As I mentioned earlier, the way this works is that it works on the principle of second and third witnesses, and that often comes in the form of pairing numbers together. Now, God pairs 9 and 17 together. For one thing, the Antichrist was president from 2009 until 2017. But that's just scratching the surface for why 9 and 17 are paired together to confirm his signs. It is predicted that NASA's Mars helicopter will crash 9 days before it is predicted that Kamala Harris will die in a plane crash on the date 1/7, which hints at 17. January 7th. Harris is of South Asian descent, which is what the helicopter crash in Nepal in South Asia on 7/11, it's 171 days prior to the predicted helicopter crash on Mars, hints at. This is merely scratching the surface of the reasons for how this prediction is known in advance. For more information, please visit bitshoot.com or Odyssey, spelled ODYSEE.com, video channel, name Harris Crash Prediction. And also read the website trumpprediction.com.